My name is Jonathan Carlone, and I work here at Brown University School of Professional Studies, and we're so glad that you could join us for this interesting class and this great info session about applied AI and data science. So thank you. Thank you for everybody joining us today. I see a couple more people still joining in, so just want to make sure that we have enough time that everybody has a chance to come in. We'll just wait another few seconds and start in just a moment here. As you can see on your screen, for those of us who already joined, this is being recorded. We will send a copy of this recording as well as a full playlist of previous info sessions on this course with the follow-up email by the end of the week, so you don't have to take furious notes. Also, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a place to put question and answer as well as chat. So if you'd like to chat, you can do that. Let's just make sure that that is turned on. That is, looks like it's turned on for everybody. Would you prefer you put the questions in the question and answer box if you can? Just so we know the chat can sometimes get overwhelmed, and the question and answer really gives us the ability to prioritize and focus on just those questions there. So, all right, well, why don't I get us started? It's about 10:02, and I want to be a respecter of everyone's time. Again, my name is Jonathan Carlo, and I work here at Brown University in the School of Professional Studies. We are where we strive to make great curriculum and programs from Brown University professors to help the world, to help you develop and make the world a better place. This is through professional programs such as Applied AI and Data Science. We have a number of mindfulness-based suite of programs. We have a certificate in Applied Inclusive Leadership. We have a leader as coach, effective communications. We have a number of other certificates in coaching, team coaching, and leadership coaching as well as offering a full list of master's degrees for professionals as well. So thank you today for coming. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to review some details presentation about the program, and then at the end we'll open it up for some Q&A. So please feel free to again and enter your questions in the Q&A box or in the chat. If you can, Q&A though is preferred. So let me just start sharing my screen here. All right, let me just make sure that we have perfect. All right, so I think we have exactly what I want to show. Perfect. So this is our presentation. Again, we will send you a copy of this along with a recording of this information session. So if you don't want to have to take notes, that's okay. You don't have to do that. The Applied AI and Data Science Info Session. So why applied AI in data science? In this time that we have together, let's talk about some statistics. We know in the modern world that it is a data-driven reasoning, data-driven decisions are being made all the time in companies and all sorts of organizations. Unlocking the power of that data. Information is obviously abundant. We have it at our fingertips, we have it in our pockets in our phones. Understanding how to use it effectively can be the game changer. Applied AI and data science is going to equip you to understand that data, to look at it and transform that raw data into actual actionable insights and actionable things for your leadership and your community that you might be a part of. 35% of Amazon's revenue has been driven by its recommendation engine. Similarly, Netflix attributes 75% of its viewership to its recommendation algorithm. This means that 35% of the products sold on Amazon and 75% of the things we're viewing on Netflix and I likely other streaming devices and streaming companies are being pushed by its recommendations. They're looking at your habits, what you're buying, what you're watching, compared to people in your other people in your demographic who've also watched and viewed or bought those products, and that's driving us. They are using that information to drive us to another product or another show to be entertained by. That's important information. It's great that a show or a product might have so many sales, but what else can you do? How can you drive further sales and further interactions with those customers and clients? By using that data, the algorithms at Amazon and Netflix have really helped increase that information. So it also drives better business decisions. Data-driven decision making is the key to staying ahead. McKinsey reports that organizations leveraging data analytics are 23 times more likely to acquire customers and 6 more times to retain customers. So again, back to that original, the Amazon and Netflix, we have customers, you have customers, I have customers and clients and students and learners. We want to be able to acquire them and we want to be able to keep them. We want to retain them, keep them happy, continue to engage them with what we're doing and what they're doing. Having that information, having that data-driven decision making is going to be key to staying ahead of the competition. Of course, automation for efficiency. Automating routine tasks using AI can improve productivity. Accenture found that AI can increase profitability by an average of 38% by 2035. I've heard it said by many of the professors here in the AI and tech industries and the tech programs and majors that we have here at Brown University. The AI isn't going to replace you, but you will be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI, who knows how to engage in it, who knows how to look at the data, who knows how to build the tools that are needed based on that data. AI can't necessarily replace what you do, but again, it's a tool that we need to learn how to use because somebody else is going to be learning how to use it. And I think that's why we're all here today. We want to know how to use this tool. Job relevance in the marketplace. Of course, as industries evolve, companies are increasingly looking for employees with advanced data skills, as I just said. The World Economic Forum says AI machine learning specialists are among the top in-demand roles globally today. And the demand for data science professionals is just increasing 30% annually in the last 2 years. This is really key. This is really important. We need to continue to look at our skill set, training ourselves. We may be professionals and working, but we're here today because we know that there's professional development programs and courses out there. We think ours is great, and these are going to help you get those tools so you are the one who knows how to use AI and engage with it. So let's talk a little bit about the program itself. The Applied AI and Data Science program is a comprehensive curriculum with an industry-aligned learning path. It was developed by Brown faculty, as all of our programs are. It is online in a fully asynchronistic classroom learning, meaning that once you sign up for the class, the next cohort starts on November 1st. So what would happen is on November 1st, you would be able to go into the online classroom and be able to review all of the classroom lessons. They're all going to be video based, and they will have quizzes and projects and knowledge checks along the way to make sure that you are learning. But it's asynchronistic, meaning you can go through the class in the full 12 weeks, take a lesson at a week at a time, and then end it on whole, or you can jump ahead. You can get 2 lessons done in 2 weeks if you want, or in 1 week if you want. Asynchronistic learning means that this is going to be flexible to fit your lifestyle and schedule. I assume most of us are working professionals. Taking time out of our day may not be possible to attend a class. This enables you to take that class during your lunch hour to watch a video or two, and then watch some on the weekend, and then do some more in the evening. You can fit this schedule to look through the course and learn online as sees fit to you. We do have some scheduled master classes, which we'll talk about in a moment. But otherwise, the lessons are going to be able to be consumed and watched and learned on your own time. Again, there are integrated assignments and quizzes for practical learning, as well as a capstone project at the very end. So a little bit of technical recommendations. This is a technical class. It is not soft skill. You are going to learn some hard skills. We do recommend you have a basic understanding of mathematics and some programming concepts. Some preparatory software, Google Chrome for your browser. That is both to access the course itself as well as some of the other tools, Python, Visual Studio Code, and pip that you'll need to learn to do some coding, to do some model building that we'll talk about here as well as in the class. We also do provide, when you enroll in the class, a number of tutorials, free tutorials, some that were provided by other professors and other courses here at Brown University, and some that are just free online, but we offer you those links. So once you sign up for the class, we do offer you a number of free tutorials to just freshen up on some skills or go back to if you need some insight and some help of how to do some of the actual work. So we know that not everyone is going to, again, be a machine learner already or be in IT or computer science, and this will enable you to use those free tutorials to brush up on your skills and maybe learn a few things that you need to learn in order to be successful in the class. Again, it's encouraged to have prior work experience, but not required. we see individuals from all industries seeking to advance their careers in software development, IT products, data consultancy, data science, and AI, but as well as leaders in production, leaders in sales. Again, they want to use the data they have with their customers and with their industries to know how much of the new product to make, how to plan for it, how can they know when their busy seasons are and their low seasons are, how can they know what offer to what offering to develop next. This is good for all industries. This is not just for people in IT or computer science, but really individuals can use these skills even without having to have that focus in their career. Again, the program is self-paced. It is fully online and it's 12 weeks. So if you were to enroll in the next cohort that starts on November 2nd, that would take you up until the end of January. So you'd have all of November, December, and most of January, 12 weeks to finish the class. We do have other cohorts starting on December 1st, so that would go through December, January, February. We don't have one offered in January, but we will have one restarting up again on February 1st. So you have full 12 weeks, and this is fully accessible 24 hours a day once you are enrolled in class and the class is opened up to you. So again, this is fully self-paced. When you want to access the class, when you want to access the next lesson, if you jump ahead or if you want to go back and review, you're able to do that through the online program. The cost for tuition is $2,995. And that can be paid either in one lump sum, or we do offer a self-enrollment for a two automated two payment plan. Half would be due at time of enrollment, and the other half would be due within 30 to 60 days later. The faculty who developed this is Shrikar Prasad. He is an adjunct professor here at Brown University, programming and data science at the Watson Institute. And he has also held artificial intelligence product and technology leadership roles at Meta, Wayfair, and Alphabet. So he's really developed this and really wanted to offer this to professionals who he knows are, this is a new burgeoning industry, and it's just growing with all the investments that we see our country and the government making. AI and data science is definitely on the cutting edge. So how is the course built? First, you will start with the foundations of data science. What is it? What does it mean? What does it look like? Then you will move into a lesson for understanding the data, how to look at it. What is the data really showing you? What is it telling you? What are the key things you need to look for? Obviously, you're going to have a lot of data points. You want to make sure that you look at the right ones and the important ones that are going to make the difference for the best decisions to be made. You're then going to be wanting to look at, once you have that data, you know the data you have, you know what you want to look at, preparing the model. So making that AI model, that data science model to be able to judge the data, to be able to collect it and give you the full, sum of the data. How do you build that model? And how do you then in the next lesson train it to do what you want? How do you look at the data and then train the model to give you the information you want? Again, to make sure that you are mapping all the data points you're collecting in the right way, and you can see their relationship to each other and their relationship to the questions you're asking to make the decisions you need to make for your company and your organization. We then go into deep learning. This is a great lesson where you're really going deeper into data science and model building and AI, and just a deeper dive into the different data you can look at and what is available, and how you can use that to your advantage. We do have a lesson that's over generative AI. This is an overview lesson, so you're not going to be going into a super deep dive with generative AI, but it is going to be what is out there, what it can be useful for, how potentially you could use it in your organization and in the class that you want to do, in this class for data science, how you can use that generative AI and all the programs out there that are, mostly free. Some have subscription models, but everyone's using AI, everyone from students in schools to professionals like ourselves, and we need to just know what that's going to look like today, what's that's going to look like in the future. Finally, the capstone project. This is your ability to choose two choices of a project. You can do both, but you only need to do one. And it's really looking at, we give you all of the data, and we give you a question and an answer, and kind of assign you a project of what to do with that data and how to create it. and that's the capstone project. So it's really taking all of the lessons you've gone through in the 12 weeks and then letting you develop something from scratch, and then presenting that to the teaching team. There is also, as I mentioned, optional monthly meeting with the instructor. We call these academic master classes. So these are offered on Tuesdays in the evenings, on Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, these would go for 2 hours, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are recorded, so they're not required to go. You can go back and look at them previous less master classes as well as the one you might have missed. They are offered monthly, usually always on a Tuesday evening. I just recommend you go, but again, it's not required. You won't be counted against you if you don't go, but it is an opportunity to talk with the instructor directly. He will pick different themes each month to focus on. Some themes will be pulled right out of some of the lessons. Some themes might be pulled right out of the news, and he will address something happening in current events. This will be taking about 40 minutes or so of the 2 hours, and then the rest of the time is an opportunity for you and the instructor, as well as some of the other classmates, to talk to the instructor. Ask him questions about the lessons you might be in. Maybe if you have questions or you're running into any issues with the course, you can really take this opportunity to meet with him and talk with him. We also have TAs, teacher assistants, that are available for each cohort, and they offer office hours during the week. So this means that you can meet with a TA if you'd like for 10, 20 minutes and talk about a class. If you have an issue with one of the lessons or one of the assignments, you can also meet with them with the TA. So we really try to give you as much support as we can while it is asynchronistic, meaning you are doing this on your own, self-paced. We want you to have opportunities and times where you can check in with the instruction team and really just make sure that you are going to be a success. We want to see everybody succeed at this course and really earn the completion certificate and really get the most out of it. But a lot of that will be on you. If you have questions, always reach out. The most you've put into it, you're going to get out. Just a little bit of time commitments, just so you know where you are getting into. The video learning. You see here the course introduction is about 18 minutes, and that's just the first 18 minutes of the class when you join it. It's just an overview, and then you have in the next courses, the next 7 official courses are at the most 7 hours, course 4, down to just 25 minutes at course 8 or an hour in course 5 through 7. These aren't just 7 hours of straight video. Each course is broken up into multiple lessons. So I think one of our longest lessons might be an hour or an hour and a half. Everything else is broken up into fairly bite-sized videos, lesson videos that you can pause. We have transcripts that are provided as well if you want to read along with kind of what's happening. We also have summaries of each video lesson, so you can also review those and know what this lesson is going to be. But before you hit play, you know how long this video lesson is about to be. So if you are doing this during your lunch hour or you're going to do this after hours and you want to know that you can get in 1 or 2 lessons by the end of the day, you can know where you are and kind of what pace you should be watching these videos and taking in this lessons. So we do that so expected homework on average 4 to 5 hours a week. That's a little high, but we'd rather tell you may need to be high. Depending on your personal background and experience with this information, you may need more time to review and re-review videos. Or if you are highly experienced, you may need less time and don't need 4 to 5 hours, and that's okay. But we want to be upfront and honest with that as well. So I would suspect 5, 6 hours a week, depending on where you are in the course, which lesson you are. This is just something to look into. Again, there's only 8 courses, but we have it over 12 weeks. We want to make sure that you have more than enough time to review the information, review the curriculum, re-review it if you'd like to, and really get the most out of this class. The 2 capstone projects, again, you can choose one of them. Just a quick review here. One is credit card fraud analysis. The other one is advertising regression model. These are 2, these might not be in your industry, depending on where you're coming from, what industry you work in. But the advising board and the professor really felt that these 2 were the most widely touched, that having information about credit card fraud is a significant issue for consumers and financial institutes. The project's goal is to develop a machine learning and deep learning model that can predict whether a credit card transaction is fraudulent, and it analyzes historical data, and the model will help identify transactions that might involve fraud. That is just taking multiple data points, building a model based on it. So you might say, I don't have to worry about credit card fraud analysis. That may be true in your industry. But whatever industry you're in, you're going to need to be looking at multiple data points, how they interact with each other, what the relationship is, and what best decision you can make going forward. The same with the advertising regression model. This is a capstone project for an advertising agency is unsure about the effectiveness of its current spending on various advertising channels. There is confusion how different combinations of advertising expenditures impact sales results. This uncertainty could lead to inefficient use of advertising budget. Again, you may not be in advertising, or you might not have any advertising to deal with in your industry, but knowing different data points and how do they relate to each other, which ones are more important than others, which ones are a priority, because then it can again help you decide how to move forward. So this is going to be something that we do in any industry. We have multiple information. How do we know which ones are real? How do we know which ones are important more than others? Which ones are variable? Which ones are static? Which ones we should need to be looking at. We want to provide that information to our leadership teams, whether we're on the leadership team or someone else on the leadership team, but we want them to make the best decision, and we want to make sure that we're providing the right data points and not good data or bad data, and we're not missing anything. And these two capstone projects are going to be able to help you with that. The learner outcome at the end of the course, you will have a certificate of completion and a digital badge. So there's a sample of what that completion certificate will look like. Again, it is from Brown University School of Professional Studies. We also offer you a digital badge that you can share across all social media, including LinkedIn. You will learn essentials of generative AI and its use cases, as well as building machine learning models to enhance decision-making processes. So the next steps. The enrollment deadline for our cohort that's starting up is on November 1st, is October 28th. So we hope that you would take advantage of that. We do have another cohort starting up on December 1st. If it's too soon, it is November 1st is only just around the corner, actually just next week, the end of next week. So if that's too soon for you, we do have one opening up on December 1st as well. And again, we will have another follow-up info session on November 5th with the instructor. But the follow-up email to this info session will have a full playlist on our YouTube channel of all the past info sessions as well. Just for attending today's info session, we want to offer you a 10% discount using the discount code INFO10, and you'll see where to put that when you go to the registration link you see on your screen, which again will be shared with you as well. If there's anything else you want to speak to us about, in a moment, I'll turn off my screen share and see if we have any questions. You can call us at the number on your screen, as well as go to our website or email us at execeducation@brown.edu. We also offer free 20-minute advising sessions with our faculty and staff to just talk about the program, talk about the process of registering for the program. So that was a lot to take in. So thank you so much for your patience. Please, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the web chat or on the Q&A box you see on your screen. I know we're ending here in 6 minutes, so I just want to make sure that that is completely dedicated to you and any questions you might have for us. Excellent. Great. I see a couple of questions coming in. Again, is there support during the program? Yes, I did mention during the presentation, as well as a monthly info session, monthly master classes that are recorded. So if you miss it, you can watch it. We do have a number of TAs assigned to the class. You can email them any time of day. They are students here at Brown University. They are either grad students or undergrad students who are majoring in computer science, and the instructor handpicked. You can reach them by email. They usually respond to you fairly quickly, even at night. They are students and they're up late. But they will meet with you over Zoom. if you like, or just you can just communicate with them through email. So that's all provided to you, as well as they have office hours that you can take. Uh, do I think someone asked me, do I think this class is appropriate for those without programming experience looking to add these skills to leverage, but don't want to complete? Yes. I think it can be. You may need some tutorials, and again, we will provide those for you when you enroll in the class. I would recommend if you're not sure like what level of programming or Python experience you may need. I would recommend you can go on there's YouTube and lots of other free tutorials already out there, and just kind of get a feel for what that really means. But our instructors and our TAs are there to help and support you. We do go over in the class how to build a model, how to use Python. We do use the model building systems and programs. We use the free versions, so anybody taking the class doesn't have to have a subscription to it, doesn't have to again work in computer science, and their company already gives them a subscription to it. These are, we try to use all the free programs for that reason. So you may need some programming experience, but it's not required. We've had a number of people take it who didn't have any, and just through the support of the instruction team, they were able to successfully complete the class and then learn some of those skills for themselves. Absolutely. Excellent. All right. Are there any more questions? We have a few minutes left. We can end a couple minutes early if we do not, but happy to answer any of the questions you may have. All right, great. Well, I think if there's don't have any questions, I will end the info session. Again, thank you all for coming and being here today. Please feel free to reach out, either email us or call us anytime if you have any other questions about the class. We hope to see you in the class in this cohort or the next one. And you all have a wonderful morning and a great rest of your day. Thank you.